Welcome back to Cityline. If you have ever seen the phrase Blue Cactus Press on the back of a book, on Facebook, on Twitter, on Instagram, and you've always asked yourself, what is Blue Cactus Press? We heard you. We would love to introduce to you the publisher of Blue Cactus Press, the one, the only, Christina Vega. Hello, Christina.
Hi, Amanda. Thanks for having me on today.
It's great to have you on, and it's great to see you. Happy New Year.
Yes, Happy New Year to you too.
And I have to say, congratulations. You have a brand new baby in your life. So I want to say from one mother to another, thank you for taking time out of the time you don't have with a newborn right now to come talk with us here on Cityline.
Yeah, motherhood it's been a wild ride. I'm glad to be here and very glad for caretakers who were willing to hold her in their arms for a little bit so I could do this.
Absolutely. So, Christina, what is Blue Cactus Press for people who are scratching their head right now?
Yeah, Blue Cactus Press is a micropress here in Tacoma. We're a publishing house, and we're a hybrid publishing house, meaning we publish books and we also teach authors how to publish books as well. And we help folks write their stories if they need to, and we have we're excited to be in Tacoma and to be a part of the creative community here.
When you say that, it was so effortlessly, but I know that that is a nut that's very hard to crack with artists promoting themselves, knowing how to get themselves published, and even knowing how to submit something for publishing. So you are a one-stop shop.
Yeah, we try to be. We don't necessarily go through the full publishing process with everyone, but we do try to have services that help folks who are in any stage of the process.
That is impressive.
And I would like to clarify, sorry, I didn't mention, but we right now are really focusing on queer and BIPOC voices in our community.
There we go. Love that. How did you come up with the name?
The name, I wish I had a better story for it, but it's really just a nod to my home. I grew up in New Mexico on the border, the Texas-New Mexico and Mexico border in the Chihuahua Desert, and out there everything has like a dusty bluish, greenish, gray tone to it, and it's just sort of like a nod to that desert, that heat, that culture. So.
Oh, I have been in that desert, and I'm there right now, closing my eyes, going back into it, seeing all
yes, yeah, especially as we enter winter.
Yes, absolutely. So, Christina, before you named Blue Cactus Press, what inspired you to become a publisher?
I have always been a writer and a reader. But in addition to that, I've always been really interested in finding ways to help folks tell their story. And it wasn't until I published my own book that I realized that I really am passionate about the book as a medium for creative storytelling. And so I got my own feet wet with my book and then just started working with other folks. And I just love going through the process of finding out how we can best tell somebody's story and how we can use a physical medium like a book to really highlight what they're trying to say.
Oh, I love that. So these are books that have some teeth in them.
I hope so. Yeah.
Yeah, when you're talking about someone's story, I mean that's deep, heavy work.
It is, yeah, and I think some folks are a little unprepared for how much emotional labor and work goes into the editing process of making a book, or to just unraveling your story, taking it from your brain and putting it onto paper. It can be a really intense process. So we try to really honor folks and the time and the energy that they put into it, because it's hard. It's really hard.
Oh, I've been in that spot where I've submitted writing, and nothing prepares you for the editing process, and you try so hard to protect your heart.
Yes,
but
that's a great
it's
way
your
of saying
story that the red pen is going over.
Absolutely, yeah.
Yeah. So how do you find your titles, Christina?
Well, sometimes we find titles through folks in our own community and in our own networks, and that's always fun. There's a handful of folks that we're always courting. We're just like, send us your submission. And then other times we have open submissions, and we actually just changed our submission policy. So instead of having deadlines, we're accepting rolling submissions, but we're just accepting them from really specific groups of books and categories of writing and authors and things like that.
Oh, I love that. So every time I am ordering a book or going into King's Books, I think about, wow, what would it feel like to have an audio book in my ears? Now, I got to smell the book, I got to feel the book, I got to save the book cover, all of that stuff. So is that something you carry, audio books?
We don't right now. We kind of dipped our toes into that with the podcast. But right now we're just not equipped for audiobooks. However, I will say that there's a really robust audiobook network called Libro.fm, and it's like Audible, but it's the indie bookstore version. So if you go to Libro.fm, you can find almost any best-selling book, most books that are on the market there. And who doesn't love audiobooks? Because a lot of times we're juggling, doing a bunch of things in the house, especially as mothers, as caretakers, as working folk. And so if you go there, you can even choose a bookstore to support. And every time you purchase an audiobook there, like say you put King's in there, every time you purchase a book, it will be as if you purchased it from King's. So you can support your favorite bookstores wherever you are, and you can still get your audiobook fix in.
That is such good news.
Mm-hmm.
So let's play that I'm an author. How do you accept submissions?
Yeah. So the first thing that we ask folks to do is just go to our website, bluecactuspress.com. We have a submissions page that has some really specific requirements or requests from authors. And but essentially it's as simple as taking that file out of your desk drawer, out of your computer folder, and just putting it in an email and pressing send. Like at the end of the day, if it comes down to your nerves getting the better of you and you're not putting in doing all the extra stuff, just send us your files. It'll be fine. It's fine.
Just press that button.
Yeah, I'll be gentle. It's fine.
I love that. So you had mentioned when I called you the one-stop shop, you have other services you offer that are not what we would expect from a traditional publishing house. Can you give us an idea of what they are and how we access them?
Yeah, and that's that kind of goes to the heart of why we consider ourselves a hybrid publisher, because in addition to the traditional publishing model where we take on the risk of publishing a book and we kind of utilize all our resources, we also have a model where folks come to us and maybe they haven't written the book yet, or they haven't gone through the editing process, or they only need help with the marketing services. So when we connect with those folks, we really just try to find out what it is they need and build a package based off of that to help them tell their story well.
And I can just hear the first timers, heaving a big sigh of relief, because it is difficult to hand over your first baby in paper or electronically and send it off, and to know that it's going to have to go through a lot of different hoops. So I love how gentle you are about that, because a bad experience could send someone packing very quickly.
Oh, yeah. And if you mentioned that you've written as well, I've written and submitted, and the submission process can really just be a slog, and it can really take an emotional toll on folks. And one of the reasons that I got into publishing was that, I got tired of relying on these outside sources to tell me that my story was good enough to tell. So I always try to remember, and our team tries to remember, that whether or not some project or work or book is the right fit for Blue Cactus Press, like, it has a home. We try to connect folks to that home. So.
I love that. Are there any events coming up that you would like to make us aware of in these last few minutes?
Absolutely, yes. On this Saturday, actually, we have a virtual writing workshop with the Tacoma Poet Laureate, Lydia K. Valentine. And I'm really excited about this workshop. It's really about bringing your full intersectional self into the writing process, and specifically about folks with disabilities and folks who live with chronic illness, and how you can bring those lived experiences into your writing to be authentic in your voice.
Oh.
Yeah, I'm very excited, and Lydia is an excellent workshop host. Anytime I get to be in a shared creative space with Lydia, I'm grateful for that.
Yes.
And then on February 5th, we teamed up with Creative Colloquy. They are graciously hosting a poetry workshop where I'll be teaching folks kind of how to use blackout poetry to process some of the, I would say, change and emotional toll and baggage that becoming a mother can take on somebody. And when I say mothering, I'm talking about the non-gendered act of caretaking. So this isn't just for female-bodied folks or folks who identify any certain way. If you're a caretaker, we hope you'll join us for the workshop. It's in person and it's virtual, so you can attend in whatever way feels best. It's going to be small, and we're going to hold it at Parable in Tacoma. And that is on the 5th. So those are our 2 big workshops coming up.
I love that. And I love when you talk about caretaking, because we have just entered our 3rd year of this pandemic. Mm-hmm. And you have to be just pretty much asleep not to notice that people are struggling. And we're struggling with caretaking and caring for the caretakers also.
Absolutely.
So I love that you're going to talk about that, because it opens up so many avenues of feelings that can then be written about, and then we can learn about, and we can hopefully find some solutions in our unity there together. How do viewers reach Blue Cactus Press? What's the quickest, best way?
The best way to do that is to head to our website. You can find a bunch of information about how to reach out to us regardless of what you're looking for, or you could email us at bluecactuspress@gmail.com. And it's just me at the other end of that email. You don't have to be super formal. You don't have to be scared. It's going to be fine.
That's right. That's right. And if I Zoom with you and I'm juggling a baby, you'll know why.
Absolutely. Yeah, absolutely.
I love that.
Yeah.
Christina, you are such a delight. I'm looking forward to having you on much sooner than later. And I would love to also have some of your authors on, to have them come on and read, because I'll tell you what, Lydia reads beautifully. Abby Murray was incredible. Mm-hmm. And Kelly Richardson. Yes. I'm like, okay, well, I'm missing one more. Yeah. I've always just wanted to devour our poet laureates because they give us so much.
Yeah, Tacoma's got a long line of incredible poet laureates. Yeah, if folks aren't familiar with that lineup, I encourage you to go to the city's website, the Tacoma Arts Commission, and check it out. You'll be impressed.
Absolutely. Christina, thank you so much for being here.
Thank you.
Well, that wraps up another great segment of Cityline. It is always a pleasure to be in your home, zooming from my kitchen. We've given you some really great things to think about as things start to safely open up. So first off, please, if you're not vaccinated, get yourself vaccinated. And if you are vaccinated, please seek out a booster shot. Wear your mask, avoid large gatherings, but most of all, don't disconnect with people. Stay connected. And when you come back, we'll be waiting for you right here at Cityline. Take care.
Tacoma, that's my home, yeah, Tacoma, that's my home. Tacoma, that's my home, place I call my own. Tacoma, that's my home, yeah, Tacoma, that's my home. Oh, you're from Seattle, oh, you're from LA, oh, you're from Chicago, but Tacoma's where you'll stay. Oh, you're from Seattle, from LA, you're from Chicago, but Tacoma's where you'll stay, yeah. Tacoma, that's my home, from the fires to the loam. Tacoma, that's my home, yeah, home.